Good Wednesday morning, everyone. It is May the 10th. Welcome to KSAT News Now. Thank you very much for hanging out with us on your Wednesday. If my colleague David Sears were here, he's on vacation, well-deserved vacation for David. He would say it is hump day. All right, Sarah Spivey taking up the hump day duties so far for David. Sarah's going to be telling us a little bit about our weather coming up over the next couple of days. And of course, we are gearing up for Mother's Day. So definitely some things that you need to know if you're planning to make any sort of Mother's Day plans this weekend across our area. So yeah, we have a lot of interesting news to get to, including a peacock problems here in a local neighborhood. It's kind of figuring out what's going on there with a peacock that's causing a little bit of a stir there. Hopefully have a resolution. And we're going to be talking about the ACL lineup coming up in just a bit with our one of our in-house experts on all things Austin city limits. That would be Haley Powers. Hi, Haley. She's shaking her head like, she's like, no expert, but Haley's going to be with us in just a bit to talk a little bit more about the lineup, as there's a lot of excitement about ACL every year. But we do want to get to, of course, all of our big statewide news. And we're going to start with new details here regarding a bill for stricter gun laws in our states here. House Bill 2744 has been left off the Texas House agenda. So the impact of this news is being felt across the state this morning, especially by the families of the victims of the Robb Elementary shooting that happened almost a year ago. That is so hard to believe. The bill would have raised the age to legally buy semi-automatic rifles, but it has lost its newfound momentum since it missed an important deadline. Barring an unexpected development, the delay likely ends the bill's chances of becoming a law. A House committee unexpectedly advanced the legislation in an 8-5 vote that included 2 Republicans supporting it, but that left little time for the bill to be added to the House's calendar. Tomorrow is the last day the House can pass bills. And we have a little bit of reaction here. So the group Lives Robbed released a statement this morning that said, quote, Phelan, this is Doug Phelan there, did nothing. Guillen sat on paperwork. Burrows hid in his locked office, surrounded by his NRA swag. You're as spineless as the cops that stood outside our children's classrooms. They failed our children on May 24th, but the next one is on you. There's blood on your hands, end quotes. That's a statement from Lives Robbed, speaking about some of these lawmakers that were legislating this bill. So State Senator Roland Gutierrez released a statement in response to this news as well. He said, in part, quote, we knew that the children that died in the Uvalde massacre were braver than the DPS, but now we know that they were braver than these Republican lawmakers in the Texas legislature. They face the end of the gun because these 5 men are too gutless to stand up to the gun lobby, end quote. And you can read more about this still developing story on KSAT.com. All right, now to another big state story here as we go to the border. This morning, hundreds of U.S. troops have arrived at the Texas-Mexico border, the first of 1,500 being sent by the Biden administration. This, of course, to help cope with the massive surge of migrants expected to be here in the coming days. Tomorrow, the COVID-era border restrictions, known as Title 42, is set to expire. Border officials predict up to 10,000 people will try to cross the border each day. That is far more than the 3,500 they say that they can comfortably handle. Places as far north as Chicago and New York have declared emergencies.
It's going to be chaotic for a while.
Well, it is a crisis situation. There'll be literally thousands of more individuals coming across the border and ultimately find their way up to the state of New York.
And you heard a little bit there from President Joe Biden and the governor there of New York. So back in El Paso, ICE agents are telling migrants living on the streets to pack up and get processed or face deportation. The enforcement operation was announced by Homeland Security in a press release. The Border Patrol unit, though, slamming that move, saying that, quote, nothing like publicly announcing that dangerous people will be arrested while warning them ahead of time exactly where to run and hide to avoid arrest. This entire operation is a sad joke, end quote there. All right, and continue with this story. To deal with the surge, the White House has just announced new asylum rules. They limit asylum eligibility for non-Mexican migrants who cross the border without approval. Migrants will also be required to enroll in a, quote, limited parole program. All right, back here at home, this is a very interesting story that's been trending on KSAT.com and has gotten a lot of attention. A beloved peacock here in a San Antonio neighborhood will soon get a new home. Animal Care Services removed the wild bird from the Menke Park after someone claimed that it was showing threatening behavior. So the Menke Park neighborhood is rallying to keep the peacock that they know as Kevin or Mr. Blue in their community. If you're looking at our visual platform, you see this is a beautiful, beautiful bird. But according to Animal Care Services, the bird pecked two children, young children here, visiting the botanical gardens last week. However, ACS adds that no skin was broken in those cases. And in a statement, it said that some people were bothering the bird when it acted out.
I'm a mom too, and I know how scary it can be when your kid gets hurt. I have my kids out looking at him all the time, and he won't let them get close. When anybody gets too close, he'd run away. So this makes me think maybe he just didn't have anywhere to run to this time.
All right, so those are some neighbors there from the Menke Park area, and of course, the situation here that's gotten a lot of people there talking. ACS tells us that the bird will not be euthanized, and he will actually be taken to a sanctuary, so that's good news there. Menke Park residents just now obviously have to deal with that decision, even though that they say they've all made a bond with this bird. Kevin, aka Mr. Blue. Beautiful bird, Sarah, but obviously a situation
it's a hard
there where,
situation.
yeah, you don't want a wild animal running around there and potentially.
Look how beautiful he is.
He is beautiful, though. Yes, definitely, definitely a beautiful, beautiful bird there. All right, as far as our weather, Sarah, are we looking at beautiful weather? Because I know it's been a little, yeah, it's been.
We're going to have an opportunity to dry out before, honestly, some of the highest rain totals we've seen in 2 years in San Antonio. Yeah, Saturday is still looking very rainy. I mean, right now we've got an 80% chance of showers and storms with flash flooding possible. So there's a lot to talk about, but first I wanted to get you through your day today. I mean, only an isolated shower is possible during the day today. We'll actually, whoa, that's different. That might be on there for a while here. I'm wondering why that showed up there, but we'll just ignore it for a second. Okay, so we are going to be seeing 85 degrees for the high temperature today. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be warm. There's going to be a small chance for an isolated shower or storm, but really the low pressure systems that have been around are going to be moving to the north, so that's why we're going to dry out a little bit in the coming days. However, by Saturday, a low pressure system is going to position itself in a really good place for us to see some very heavy rainfall. High rainfall totals possible throughout the day on Saturday. In fact, we're at a high risk for severe weather around San Antonio. I'm going to see if we can remove that. Nope, no chance there. Oh well, we're at a high risk for severe weather, for flooding weather over San Antonio with widespread 4 to 6, pockets of 7+ possible. High risk for severe for flooding right over San Antonio. Again, severe weather threat is low. It's the flooding that we'll be mostly concerned about. And you can see that the best chance for that is Saturday for those heavier rainfall totals. Yeah, RJ, sorry about that little technical glitch there. Well, it's a little interesting. That's the first time I've seen that, and I've been in this business for 7 years. So, but just know that there is a fresh forecast for you on KSAT.com.
Yeah,
as well.
I definitely have an appreciation for what you guys do when it comes to the graphics, because my little bit of dabbling with the traffic computer, I know that sometimes
sometimes things pop up and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. I've never seen that before.
Right,
so thanks for sticking with me there, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the biggest thing to worry about is on Saturday, heavy rains are possible. You know, RJ, it only takes 6 inches of rushing water to sweep a person off their feet, and 12 inches to sweep a car away. Yeah. So just be aware this weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend, busy weekend.
Exactly. Turn around, don't drown. We always cannot stress that enough. And unfortunately, we do see situations where people think that they can make it over, but they just don't really gauge the depth.
Your souped-up truck is not going to keep up with 12 inches of water.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. And make sure to have that KSAT Weather Authority app. I know you guys always launch the Appcast, which is a great opportunity for people to get the very latest information. All right, Sarah. Okay, so Austin City Limits. Have you ever been to ACL?
I've never been to ACL, but I've been to Austin when ACL is happening, and it is crazy.
Yes. Well, we're expecting a little bit more craziness coming up soon, because ACL, they've released their lineup for this year's festival. And taking a look at their tweet, we can see some big names are headlining this year. So get this, they will have Kendrick Lamar, amazing there. The Foo Fighters, Mumford & Sons, Odessa. They're not from Odessa, by the way. I just looked that up. They're from Washington, but a pretty cool electronic duo. The Lumineers, Shania Twain. Get that. That's pretty cool. Alanis Morissette. So a little bit of nostalgia there. It's a little bit of the older acts. The 1975 Hozier and many, many others here.
How cool.
Yes. Yeah, definitely
I gotta
cool.
say, Shania.
Shania, yeah.
Looks
So
like a lady.
But she's only
that's
weekend
amazing.
one.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh.
joining us.
Yes.
Yeah, this is our producer,
This
Haley
is our
Powers.
producer.
She does a great job putting
She's in
together
front
our
of the
show.
camera right
Yes.
now.
And we were talking a little bit this morning before the show about ACL. So, Haley, you've been there a couple of times.
Yes.
Do you have any tips for people that are either going to be out there trying to get tickets or just going to be out there listening to good music?
I would definitely say plan now. Because we did Airbnb both times we went, which is nice because we don't have to fly. We can drive from San Antonio. But we did Airbnb and they fill up quickly.
Wow, okay.
I would suggest not driving to ACL. Always Uber, Lyft, get a ride share because getting there is very hard and you have to walk. So parking is not that fun.
So do you hang out the entire day? I mean, it's 2 weekends now, right? And so
Yes.
are you getting the wristbands for both weekends or it's one or the other?
I've always gone for the whole weekend, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
And we usually get there Thursday, leave Monday. But then we would kind of base it off who is playing and what time. It's also during football season, so if there's a football game we wanted to watch.
yes.
But I will say at ACL they do play football games. So
Oh, okay.
yes, they
So-
have in one of their bar areas they have a big TV
This is the
tent
one
set
at
up.
Zilker Park.
Yes,
right?
Zilker
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah, so a little bit of everything for everyone. Okay, so what is the artist that you would like to see this year?
Oh, so I love Odessa. I actually saw Odessa back in 2018.
Okay.
They're one of my favorite groups, EDM groups.
they're EDM, you're
Yes.
right. Yeah.
They're really
I
good
didn't
live.
know you were an EDM gal. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, my mind has been opened.
I mean, I just love music and I love live music in general.
Taylor Swift and EDM. Is that what the
Yeah.
rankings were?
But you know, that's one thing I like about ACLs. It's a mixture of all different genres of music. So you
Yeah.
know, you have Kendrick Lamar who's in rap, you have Odessa who's EDM, you have Shania Twain. Like,
Yeah.
talk about just a great throwback. And
I
like
would
that's my
be-
life growing up.
I would love to see Alanis Morissette too.
That one
yes.
too. Yeah, that one too. For me, it would be Foo Fighters because I know that after Taylor unfortunately passed away, their longtime drummer, there was a lot of questions about whether they would even perform live
Wow.
again. But good to see them back
Do you
out
know
there.
who their
Dave
drummer
Grohl, love
is?
that guy. I don't know who they have now
I know
that's drumming
that
for them.
I know that his son has played with them before, which is pretty
Oh,
emotional.
very interesting.
So-
Oh yeah, that happened earlier this year, the end of last year, right?
Yeah, so Foo Fighters, I've always wanted to see them. I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't know, ACL's kind of a tough one for me. I'm not a big festival guy. Used to be.
It's just really fun. I like the atmosphere of it. The weather's usually pretty good in October,
Yeah.
so it's not too hot, it's not too cold. They have great food vendors throughout the entire festival grounds. And you know, again, there's a little bit for everyone.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. We have our Haley's ACL hacks. Is that what we call it?
Sure.
Haley's
I've
hacks.
only been 2 years. But
Haley's hacks for
if you want to do,
ACL.
there's a lot of great photo opportunities too, but there are long lines for them. So I would plan those during the sets that you may not want to see.
Okay. All right. And when is ACL?
It is October 8th through the 11th, whatever
Okay,
days those
yeah,
are.
probably should,
8th through
yeah.
the 10th, and then the 13th through the 15th.
All right. Yeah. Good times there in October up the road in Austin. All right, Haley. Thanks again for hanging out with
And
us.
thanks for
Giving us some
producing
ACL
the
hacks.
show.
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry that I had a technical difficulty.
It's okay. I won't hold it against you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with us on KSAT News Now. We really appreciate it. Make sure to like, rate, and subscribe to our podcast, and also check us out on YouTube as well. You guys have a great Wednesday.
Hope